Morning guys, sorry we've not posted for a few days. I was supposed to have done a fitted wardrobe IKEA packs hack last Friday, and unfortunately I come down really ill on the Wednesday night, so I ended up laid up in bed all day Thursday, and I wasn't much better on the Friday. So it's only now we've actually got back on my feet. So luckily yesterday we only had some handyman jobs to do, which wasn't worth filming. Just a shed repair and some other silly little bits and pieces. But today we're doing some work in a small bar at our local Harpenden Bowls Club. So this is like the old lawn bowls. So what we're doing today is we're just taking out the sink, putting in a new worktop, a new double drainer sink, and making some sort of cut. Basically it's going to be two drawers, but it ain't going to be a cabinet. It's just two doors, sorry, just to cover like where the chemicals are for the dishwasher, the glass washer even. And we're going to put a new water heater in, rearrange some electrics, make it safe, because at the moment they're too close to the sink. But what a lovely place to work. Look at this. This is the main lawn for their bowls. Very nice. And then obviously working inside, and I'll show you what we're actually doing. Indoor bowls, very nice. So what we're doing is here. So this is all coming out, this worktop. That heat is coming out, those tiles are coming off, all the electrics underneath here got to be reworked. These are too close to the new sink, so we're going to reposition those into that corner and go down through the countertop a little bit. And then we're going to have a new counter come across there, and then we're going to infill that little section now with a double door, and then we're going to have a water heater in the back there, and then this cable for this chiller, hopefully we're going to try and get through that wall up and plugged in so it's not on the outside. Just a general tidy up. So let's get stuck in, start getting things disconnected. Stay tuned. So that's it, it's all ripped out now. All ripped out, nothing really to show. Obviously the power's now off. That's the fuse spur for our new heater. We're going to rework these electrical wires because they're a mess. We're just going to put a 3x2 batten of CLS timber along this wall, get that fixed. That's going to be our back support for the worktop, and then we're going to put a little one now to catch this side of the worktop, and then we need to do something on this side to catch the worktop, and then we can catch the cut the worktop and get it in place, and then we can go from there. So let's get that on the wall and then make a plan. Okay, so we're just getting the electrics sorted out. I'm doing the water heater side, Ricky's doing the other side. Water heater's on the wall, it's all nicely clamped up, nicely connected. Comes out into our fuse spur, which we've moved from there. That's on the wall now, so now we can start looking at repiping all of this. We've rerouted all our cables neatly under, and then Ricky's just doing a double socket there, a double socket and a fuse spur up the top there. Definitely looking better than it was, so stay tuned. Okay guys, so now we're going to plumb the heater in. I'm going to show you what we're going to do and how we're going to do it, so bear with me. Okay, so alright, let's get myself organised. Okay, so we're not using that, that's a dead old hot feed. It's dead, doesn't do nothing. This is our cold. You should put a drain off in, but because we've got the dishwasher connection here, or the glass washer, we can just take that off, and that'll be our drain off straight into this old gully. So we've got a non-return valve in there first, that's most essential. Then the next thing that goes in is your expansion vessel, which is basically that there. So that's going to sit in there like so. Actually it's not, because I've got to take into consideration where the sink is first. So figure that bit out first, because that could be right where my sink is. So we might need to move it over a tad. So okay, so we better work out. That's the edge of our bowl there. So our bowl's going to be coming down there, so we need to come over a tad more with our expansion vessel. But I've also got to get a hot feed across here as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pipe out of here my hot to the centre here and just have a tail coming out. I've got to put a tail off of here for my cold feed to it as well. So I'm getting a bit ahead of myself, so just bear with me. Alright, okay, so after some minor reworks, we've now got our pipe in for our cold. We've got a pipe in there now for our cold, which we will connect onto later on. Just need to put another clip on the back of that just to keep it off the wall for a minute. So I'm going to just torch those together with a bit of tissue. Some tissue, please, Ricky. If I knew that, I wouldn't be asking. I know you did, but that's got it. It's hiding. I'm just going to wipe the excess flux off. We don't want the solder flowing everywhere, do we? Just going to solder those bits on. Okay, switch. A little clean. Okay, now we've got to make space for our expansion vessel. How
are you guys doing?
Yep, getting there.
Yeah?
The electrics have all been redone. No problem. So expansion vessel. Solder, flux, pipe slice. Chromia down. I've got one here. It's okay. What are we looking at? 60 mil. 160. Okay. Put that in there like so. Crank that up. Use the drill to spin the end off. A bit of flux on there. I'll put a T on there. Like so. That'll be for the expansion vessel. Bit of flux on there. Like so. That's that. What have I done with that? Bit of paper I had. A big bit of paper here somewhere. That's it there. Okay. And you want another bit of copper to come out of that. A little rethink on that one because we're a bit low here, so I'm going to do a little kick so that I can get onto that. I'll use my pipe bender. Do a decent sized kick. Nice and tight. Like so. I'll whip the end of that off. Make it a bit shorter. Clean that end up. Solder. That there. Let's get a pipe clip in there. Right, Ricky, I need you to go in the van. I need you to find the long drill bits that are in the bit above the cab. So what we're going to do, we've got to vent. This has got to be. I'm going to vent this to outside. Level. And that will sit on there. Let's wipe the excess off first. Pig. So if I wanted to, I could just stick the pressure release vessel like that, but I'm not going to. See, it looks shit, so that's going to sit up there like that in a minute. So that's another job we've got to do. And our expansion vessels are going to sit on top of there like so, nice and below everything. And then they're going to come out of the hot, across, kick in and up, which we will sort out in a moment. I'm not worried about that just yet. First job, SDS out the wall. It's the worst one I've got. I don't know how it got bent, but I leaned your tools out and they come back bent. Oh, bloody drill bits are all bent. How are they all bent? Alright. Ricky, just whip outside and tell me when that pipe's out the wall, please. Ricky, just run outside. Just can you see if you can hold the other side of this pipe for me while I quickly solder it? Heat shouldn't get nowhere near you, but use a bit of rag or something anyway. Got it? All right. What we've got to do now is run a bit of pipe work for our hop to come out, so that we can feed the sink. Okay, and then put our TVR in. Sorry, not TVR, our expansion vessel. Kink on a pipe. Ricky, get me another length of copper out of the van, please. Pipe slice. Beautiful. I like that. Pipe slice. Make sure you have the hot on the left side, so we'll always know for the future. Okay, just get the expansion vessel on and we are done. Bolt that up. Okay, that's it, done in here. All we've got to do is go outside on the pressure release. We just got to bend it down and kick it back to the wall a little bit so that we don't have any issues there. But otherwise, in here is now finished. We can now get our worktop on, cut out our sink. Yeah, so cut out the sink and then start building the frame, get that in, get the sink in, get the doors on. So let's get it done. And while I'm doing that, I can let Ricky have a tidy up in here and get things nice and tidy. Okay, so we've just finished the bit on the outside now. So all it is just a kick back so that any dripping will just drip down out here. And that's it, all done and dusted on the plumbing side to connect the hot and the cold up when we're ready to go. Happy days, we're getting there. Slowly but surely, worktop time. Okay, the worktop isn't in yet, but it's provisionally in. It's on a temporary foot. Cut it to length. We've got upstand, so hopefully we've got enough upstand to come up there, round, all the way around the back to frame it. It's a temporary leg at the minute, but we're trying to find the centre. So because our upstand's going to sit here and on here, we want the centre from that point to that pencil mark, which is there. So now we're going to mark the centre out and then we're going to start working out where our sink goes. Okay, so we know we've got a length of that underneath the worktop, so we've got to be careful that we don't cut too far back and we can't get our sink on. So what we can do now with that there like that, now by sitting our sink like that, we're going to have that lip which on the underside, which means we can get our fixings on, and we're going to have a nice big bit at the front, which will allow me then to build my framework on. So I don't want to sink too far this way because I've got to be able to fix a frame to that for our doors to go on. So using our set square, we're just going to make sure we're on the same distance at the front, and I'm just going to draw around it on this occasion and then come 10mm in. There we go, so we're drawing around it. Now we know we've got to come 10mm in from that edge all the way around. So we're going to go outside now, we're going to cut that out very carefully, put the sink in, mount it, put all the seals on, and then we'll bring it back in. Okay, let's get this sink cut out. Beautiful. First things first, quick test fit, which isn't really going to work because I've got the bowl isn't going to go through, but what I can do, I'll move some stuff out of the way. What do I do with that roll of, there we go. Always be careful with these bloody sinks, guys, because they do have razor sharp edges. Trust me, you don't want to get your hands on that edge, because it will bloody hurt. I know, I've done it many times. Now, if you're wondering why we're not putting base units in, it's purely because of where the drains are. They have loose bottles of chemicals underneath there that are for the glass washer, and there's a water treatment filter thing that goes on the floor next to it as well, and all that inside the unit is just not going to be, it's just not feasible. Oh schmeg, I broke it. I ripped it, man, I ripped it. There we go. Do what, mate? Yeah, I believe so. You got to be in it to win it, as they say. I was in it, but I didn't win it. Yes, mate, that's for the vinyl wrapping later. Right, Ricky, just do me a favour, mate. Just help me lift this over carefully. I want to just make sure it sits and fits. And then once I'm happy, we'll turn it over the right way. Flipping this over, I just want to make sure it actually sits in. Oh yeah, look, beautiful. Beautiful. Alright, we can clip that on there now. So we'll seal that edge up and then we'll clip it on. Yeah, so bit of clear silicone around the inside edge, smeared out with a packer in a minute. Just helps to stop this from rotting away. Well, yeah, as many as you can, mate, because that's got a bit of a bow in it, so we've got to pull that bow out. Just going to grab a packer out of the van. She'll do. We're just going to smooth this silicone over all the wood. Alright. We do it for me. It might be easier for me. That's it. Could do with one in the back here, just as a. I'll pull that in. That song stuck in my head. That's better. That's better. Come on, bite your sod. Alright, let's lift it over. Front to front, back to back. Alright, make sure she's looking square. That's got to go on, but we can do that when it's in. That needs to go on before we go any further, really. The tap, because otherwise we'll be struggling later. Okay, let's flip it over and get it so we can get the tap on. Leave it on the bowl, spin it round on there. Leave the bowl this side like that, then you can get the tap on then. Yeah, don't point, yeah, look even better when we get the upstand on and the shelves in. no worries, we ain't going nowhere. Looking good. It's looking good. Looking good. One thing I didn't buy, bloody flexies for the tap connections, so I'm going to have to go out at some point and grab some bloody tap connections. Bloody suds, Lauren. Okay, so we've got the sink in, got the taps connected, just got the waste to do. Excuse me, I've got a screw in my mouth, I don't know why. So we're just going to put a blank in, which I've already cut. I've got that bit of MDF which I'm going to put on the back of here to come up so that my upstand's got something to stick to. So I'm just going to get that on now. So now we're going to drop our sink in and see where we're at. Okay, so sink is basically in now. We're going to widen the support at that end because it's not very big. And then I've got to connect the hot, the cold, put the waste in, do all the plumbing. And once that's all plumbed in, we can test it, make sure the water's working, make sure everything's working. And then we can worry about upstands and then start getting our doors and that on the front. We've got to put another leg at this end as well. Dishwasher's going to slide back in, and then we've got to build our little bit there afterwards. So let's get that bit done. Okay, so after a flying visit to Jewson's to get some bloody tap connectors because I'm an idiot and forgot them. So now we can get the sink connected underneath there. So sink all connected now. Drop our tails down. Get the waste connected, get the trap and the waste in there, and then we can then see where we're at and what else we need to do. So let's get on with it. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to put a framework here. So we got our dishwasher, or glass washer, so it's only 500, that's got to go back in there. So we're going to make a bit of a framework up here now so that we can make some doors and get it all supported. Do me 3D 100, please. Some fixing. Just hold that to it. Yeah, don't keep it fun. Can you put some 4, 8 and 9, please? No. Another leg, please. 8, 3, and 4. On top. got this leg in and our centre brace this way, which won't go on the floor because I don't want any water, any spillages of water that might be in there to affect it, so I want it off the floor to a degree. Cheers, mate. I'm just going to sit in there, like so. Yeah, it's 500. Believe it or not. Just double check this is level. Right, let's make that look a bit tidier. Cut me another one, Ricky. At 934, please. Just take a smidge off, mate, please. Probably half a blade. Okay, so that's pretty much my frame done. So my doors are going to shut to this. I'm going to now put 18mm frame on that, and then we can hang our doors, and the doors will be proud, but they will look good. So that's our next job. Okay guys, so we're going to put an MDF frame around our timber, which is a and then we're going to vinyl wrap it in a similar colour to what our worktop is. Now I'm not going to lie, I've never done this before, so it will turn out how it turns out. So let's have a go. So I've already done one. It didn't come out brilliantly, but the front looks good enough, and the sides you're not really going to see because they're going to be covered anyway. But it is a learning curve after all. Make sure we've got plenty, we do. Now I have got somewhere in my van the right tool for this, so bear with me. Here it is. Make sure we really push that on. So bring it down our edges. Make sure we get a good crease on our edge. I've watched a lot of videos on this, but that doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to do a very good job of it. Let's cut this excess off. Isn't needed. Ricky, what happened to that scalpel, mate? I want it on max. A bit of heat on it just to Make sure it gets the glue nice and loose. Flip her over. I want to try and get the bottoms because it'll help give it a bit of protection. I've gone and bought supposedly all the gear for it. You know what they say, all the gear, no idea. This is where I'll probably slice myself to pieces. Use the scalpel just to I'm not bothered about it overlapping on the back because the back's not going to be seen ever, so I'm just going to do it like that. I'm sort of making it up as I go along, I'm not going to lie. My aim is here, really, what I want to try and do come away from this corner downwards like so. I want to wrap these corners up just to give it a little return. Trying to make sure I get these edge sides all nice and tight. First time for everything, as they say. And we're wrapping the doors the same way, so this is good practice. Anyway, let me just take you indoors and I'll show you what it is we're actually doing. So as you can see, we put one that side, this one's going to go this side, then we're going to do one at the top, one at the bottom, and then we're going to put some green MDF on this edge, which will act as our hinge for our hinge to fix to, and our doors will be surface mounted. So that's the plan anyway. Anyway, let's get the rest of these done and then I'll get back to you. There we go, that's our veneered frame all the way around. We're going to put a couple of bits of return in there, just out of green MDF, and then that's going to be what our hinge will then screw to. So let's get that done, and then we just got to cut our two doors, hang it, handles, wrap it, do the final bits of plumbing. Happy days. All finished. All siliconed up. Got hot water, cold water, new doors, and all reconnected up. The heater's up and running. Happy days. Another job finished. Looks much neater than it was this morning. Time to go home. Been a long day, guys, a late one for us today, but don't forget, like, share, follow, subscribe to that YouTube channel and hit that notification icon, and we'll see you tomorrow on them fitted wardrobes I was supposed to done last week. See you soon. Bye bye.